All right, well, I'm just going to jump right in and tell you just a little bit about me, my story, my why. I think it's important to know that for yourself. And this is me back in 2014. I worked for a very busy real estate office, and I had 2 young kids at that point. And my life was kind of crazy, and I was just sort of sinking very slowly. I wasn't really paying much attention to my health at all. I wasn't exercising. I wasn't really paying much attention to what I ate, or I wasn't sleeping very well. I wasn't really doing any kind of self-care at all. And what happened is what happens, I think, with most of us. We get to that stage of burnout, fatigue, and you probably hear it a lot, whether it's you're experiencing it personally or you hear it from the people that you work with. And so what happened, it was about 2017, I decided, you know what, enough is enough. And I got involved in this small group where we read this book, and it talked about wellness from a holistic standpoint. And that thought had never really occurred to me before. And so I started taking small little steps and doing things differently and kind of considering my own health. And lo and behold, I started to feel better. And I was a better performer at work. I was more engaged with my kids and my husband and my community. And as those things began to change for me, I decided, you know what, I know I'm not the only person struggling with this. I've got to figure out how to help others. And so then I got my wellness certification as a wellness coach. And kind of the rest is history. As it said in the introduction, for about 5 years I've been a wellness coach, and I've worked with a lot of individuals, groups, athletic teams, all of that. And what I've figured out is that we spend most of our time at work, most of us anyway, and if we are not helping each other focus on wellness at work, we're doing a disservice to ourselves, but then also to our employees. So this next picture is a group that I'm coaching. It's just a few of them. We did an early morning walk on National Coffee Day, and I think that's a big piece of wellness is getting that engagement and finding things that you can do together. And then lastly here, one of the things that I really have come to understand in my time as a wellness coach is that if you want to live your best, most productive, and most purposeful life, you really have to have some consideration of your own personal wellness. So the word wellness, at this point, I feel like it's pretty overused. And because of that, it's gotten kind of watered down. So my question is, what does it mean to you? So if I have any volunteers here, I mean, if I were to ask you, like, what does wellness mean to you, what would you say?
Watching yourself.
Say again, sorry.
Watching yourself, well-being.
That's right, taking care of yourself. Anybody else? Fulfillment. Anybody else? What's wellness to you? Anybody?
Mental check-ins.
Mental check-ins, absolutely. So the point is, it means different things, right? It means different things to different people, and it's good to understand what it means to you and know what that is, and have some focus around it. This is a picture. Does anybody know where this is just by looking at it? It is a gym. It's on the waterway. It's a company there that built this beautiful building, and on the bottom floor is this amazing gym. Okay, I am a runner and a walker. I can tell you, I could probably count on one hand, maybe 2, How many times I've seen somebody in that gym? Not hardly any at all. And so my point here is that sometimes the lights are on, but nobody's home, right? And a lot of times I ask the question in Huba, does a one-size-fit-all wellness program work? And my point is that you can provide a program for your employees, but if nobody's using it, it's not much benefit for them. And so it's important to have people who are helping the employees become engaged in the programs that you are providing. This, I'm sure, it's a wonderful, I mean, I can see all the equipment, it's wonderful. Sometimes I see someone who I can tell is probably working there, you know, but not many people take advantage of it. Okay, so I want to make the case for why there's some urgency around having wellness programming. So the average lifespan in the US right now is 78, but the average health span is 63. So what happens at about 63 years old? Retirement. That's right. So what this means for us is that we've worked our behinds off for 30 plus years, and right when we get to that age where we want to be able to retire, our health starts to fail because we have not invested in it. And so from 63 to 78, we're having all these health problems. And in retirement, what do you want to do when you retire? Or enjoy life, right? Like you probably put off a lot of things, travel, spending time with the grandkids, whatever it is for you. But if your health is failing, it's going to be really difficult to do that. And so I think it's important to understand that a lot of times we think, well, that's something I'll think, if I'm 30 or 40, I'll think about that when I'm 50, or when I'm 50, I'll think about it when I'm 60. Health is really, it's a lifestyle, and it's something that you want to begin now. not put it off till 5-10 years from now. It's something that you want, it's a consideration that you need now. And then these are just kind of lifestyle pictures. It's our choice, right? Do we want to be the people on the left, or do we want to be the people on the right? How do we want to spend our later years in life? Okay, so here are some reasons why your organization needs it. We know that our healthcare costs have gotten ridiculously out of hand there. Disease and injury risks are continuing to rise. Absenteeism, presenteeism, we've talked a lot about quiet quitting today, kind of the same thing there. Turnover, and it can be used as, so those are sort of the top problems, and it can be used as a recruitment tool and a way to retain top talent. I can tell you, I've read studies, millennials, Gen Z, they are looking for wellness programming as part of your benefits package. And so it's a great way to differentiate yourself in trying to hire that top talent. Also, it just helps foster a happier, healthier, more engaged, more connected culture. So it kind of ties back to the quiet quitting. A lot of times the quiet quitting or the presenteeism, it's because the employees they don't feel like they're connected, they're not as engaged as they could be or should be. Okay, so behaviors drive costs, and that's really what wellness programming is all about. It's about helping change behaviors, lifestyle behaviors, and you can't see this very well, so I'm sorry about that, but these are 8. So it's poor diet, physical inactivity, smoking, lack of health screening, poor standard of care, poor stress management, insufficient sleep, excessive alcohol. These 8 behaviors actually drive these 15 chronic conditions. And so if you, actually they account for 80% of the total cost. So you can see diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, back pain, Long list there, 15 things. And that's, if you are tracking at all what you're spending money on from a healthcare cost, this is it. Does anybody see anything that's missing here? Because I do. And it doesn't actually have, well, it has something to do with the chronic conditions. Anything missing that costs you a lot of money?
Mental health.
Yeah, depression, anxiety.
Yep. Yeah, yes, it does. Prescription drugs, not on this list. It costs a lot of money, your prescription drugs. That if you're providing health care for your employees, prescription drugs is going to be one of those higher costs that you've got going on. Okay, so how it benefits your employees. So how a wellness program benefits your employees. It helps to reduce anxiety and depression, improves self-esteem, increases energy, increase productivity at work, happier and more fulfilled, stronger muscles, improved lung capacity, improved cardiovascular, lower BP and cholesterol, decreased risk of disease. And those are all wonderful. And those are absolutely all things that a wellness program that focuses on lifestyle change and behaviors can help. This one's my favorite though. Positive role model for coworkers, friends, and family. So there's a lot on there, the list there, that are tangible, some are intangible. This one is my favorite, and I'm gonna tell you why. So I love this quote by the Dalai Lama. It says, just as ripples spread out when a single pebble is dropped into water, the actions of individuals can have far-reaching effects. So I'm just going to tell you a quick little story. I am working with this real estate company right now, and one of the things that I offer is coaching. So they can come once a month. I have a conference room. I sit in there, and they can make an appointment and come just talk to me. We start with an assessment, but then we kind of build from there. So I have this young woman. She's not 30 yet. She's young. And we've been coaching together. And she, the last coaching session that we had, she's like, wow, this is not as hard as I thought it was going to be. You know, she's been making changes around how she eats. And so one of the things she really wanted to work on was meal planning and meal prep. And we started talking about, we talk about tools, ideas, recipes, how to make this fit into her calendar. I mean, all these practical things that she can do. And so she went away for a month and did that. And so this last discussion we had, she came back and she's like, this is not as hard as I thought it was going to be. And also my boyfriend, she lives with her boyfriend, he's on board too. Like, he's getting the benefit of what she's doing, okay? So that's what I mean when it's not just for that person, it's not just for yourself. When you begin making these changes, it ripples out. And that's the huge thing, I think, when it comes to wellness programming, is that it can be something that just transforms not only yourself, but also others in your organization and family members. And when we go back to that sense of happiness, that sense of purpose, it's so much easier to feel that and step into that when those around you are encouraging and supportive of it. So I hope that I've made a bit of a case here of why wellness programming is a missing piece of a business strategy. I do believe that it should be part of your strategy. It definitely will make a difference in your bottom line, but also it just makes a difference in your culture as an organization. Okay, so now let's just kind of get into the nitty-gritty, the steps of it. So this is really the process that I use in doing wellness programming. So it's really like add plus E. So assess, design, deliver, evaluate. Believe it or not, our health has more to do with our zip code than our DNA, believe it or not, okay? So that means your community matters. Okay, and so when your community of people that you work with, if you are not all kind of focused in on being healthier, it can really drive some of those chronic diseases that we were talking about. Okay, so let's talk about that. So first, I like to assess. I think that is key. You have to know the needs, and again, it's you don't want to throw out this one-size-fits-all wellness program, because what happens a lot of times is that people either they don't participate or it's not meeting their personal need. So if I don't have a need for a gym, that's not something that's high on my need list, then it may not be something that I'm going to take advantage of. So I think it's super important to begin with an assessment. And I just want to say, at the end, I'm going to give my contact information. I'm happy to share that with you. If you want to start by just assessing to see where everyone is, that's a huge place to begin. This is a real assessment that I did with an organization. I have certain factors that they're looking at, and then they get to decide, is it my top need, my second need, or my third need? Now, a lot of times, as you see, exercise, diet were the top needs. One of the things that I'm seeing more often now is financial health. So again, holistically, right? We're thinking holistically and how we want to be able to help meet the wellness needs of our employees. And then what happens is once we have this assessment, we can design programs around it. Sit down, put it on the get it on the calendar. These are just some kickoffs that I had. Our first challenge that we had was a step challenge. I called it the Super Stepper Challenge. But that really fosters engagement. You get people engaged in that. I do 4 challenges in a year. But then in between, I'm doing healthy focuses, habit focuses. So the farmer is, we did a focus around what they're eating and how much water they're drinking. We also can come in and have, I think another good idea is having special programs, whether that's workshops or this month actually is Diabetes Awareness Month, having tools and things available to the clients that will help, or to your employees that will help them and keep them engaged. Okay, so the next is just the delivery of it. So these are just some pictures of what went down when we did the step challenge. The group, we did a morning walk. We in their WhatsApp, they communicate via WhatsApp. We were taking pictures of Fitbits. They would take it upon themselves to go walk together to lunch instead of driving. Things like that. It just fosters that engagement and that connection. And then these are just having some sort of dashboard or way to track what you've been doing in your challenge, I think is very important. The competition can be a lot of fun, again, fostering engagement. And then engagement is real important. I think that's one of the most important pieces, honestly, of a wellness program, is you want to make sure that people are engaged, because if they're not engaged, like the gym, if they're not using it, it's not really going to be that beneficial for them. And so you can see here, we had lots of engagement in WhatsApp. Okay, so I don't know if you all want to do this with me or not. I just wanted to do a quick test just to kind of show you how something super easy, low cost, really no cost, can be a lot of fun and get people engaged. So we're going to play rock, paper, scissors here real quick. So what I need, this is how we're going to do it. And I did this this summer. I went to this HR symposium and we did this, and it was a lot of fun. And we've been sitting a lot today, so it won't hurt us to stand up a little bit. But what you're going to do is you're going to find a partner, and you're going to play rock, paper, scissors, best 2 out of 3. And whoever wins then finds another winner, and the person who lost is just, you're gonna follow the person that you lost to and cheer them on. Does that make sense to everybody? Mm-hmm. All right, so find a partner real quick, and we're gonna rock, paper, scissors.
So is it 2 out of 3?
2 out of 3, best 2 out of 3. All right. All right, let's do it. All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Got me. All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Got me. You won. All right, so now you just go find another winner. Raise your hand if you're a winner. Raise your hand if you're a winner. All right. All right, so winner, find a winner and then follow your partner. And then follow your partner. Cheer them on. Cheer them on. Cheer them on.
This is the American way. The Asian way, the rock, paper, scissors with the body. I don't think you ever come up with the rock, scissors,
Oh, I like it. I like that.
Okay, we're gonna do exercise.
Okay.
All right, find a winner.
That's all right. You got it.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. All right, Drew, one more.
This is.
Oh no, no.
What, 7 times?
I know.
We never finished with her. Oh, no, I have no idea how to play this game.
God, that's creepy.
That's okay. Thank you till you make it right.
Oh my goodness.
What is going
That's
on?
like 8 times. I'm counting now.
Okay.
All right, so he won. One more. All right, you got it. Yeah, okay. All right. All right. All right. So this is for the championship. Woo!
You got this.
By the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
You got this. I close my eyes so you can't see.
All right.
All right, let's go.
All right. Let's do it.
We messed up, didn't we?
Here, I want to take a picture of this.
All right, come on. You got it, Drew. Come on, Drew.
All right. All right. All right. All right.
I still think he's a mind reader.
Okay. So fun, right? How long did it take us? Less than 5 minutes. You know, like it's a great way. It could be a great way to start a meeting. It could be a great way to start a town hall or production meeting or whatever you're doing. But it's the engagement piece. I can't stress that enough. It's finding ways to get people engaged in the program or the activity that you're trying to introduce. And that's just a fun way to do that. Last but not least, though, is the evaluation piece. Also very, very important. You want to make sure that the programs and the things that you are doing resonate, they find value, they can make suggestions, how to make it better, always refining, always trying to make it better. These are actually real. So after each time I deliver a program, I send out a survey. They're anonymously can provide comments about how it went, what they thought, that sort of thing. And then that way you know that what you're doing is actually meeting needs and that it's beneficial for them. Okay, so I asked this question in Whova. I don't know if anybody here had a chance to answer or not, but these are just some of the responses, and then we're going to talk a minute about what they kind of all have in common. So my question was, what is the risk for your organization in not having a wellness program for everyone? So this is one answer. Each person is vital to its team. So if one person is sick often, their absence causes problems. less productivity out of the team members, more depression, less positivity, excessive absenteeism, higher anxiety, lack of focus, lack of motivation and attention to detail. Break room snacks disappear quickly. Oh, wait, I want to go back. Okay, so what do all these have in common for you, for a business? And these weren't all of them, these are just the ones I had. But they all basically centered around, if somebody's sick, others have to kind of take up the slack. It lessens productivity. That was a big theme. So what does this mean for your team or your organization?
Same cost for less production.
Right, loss. It's costing you a lot of money, right? When others are not performing at the level they could be performing at. The other thing I will say is that I think it adds to that problem of the quiet quitting, right? Because you're stressing the people who are actually there. I mean, you're putting more stress and workload and burnout and all of that on the people who have stuck around, right? And so it can cost you a lot, I think, not having some sort of wellness strategy in your business. So there's this great quote about when is the best time to plant a tree? Does anybody know it? 20 years ago, that's right, 20 years ago. When is the next best time to plant a tree? Today, that's right. I say that's the same thing with wellness programming. The best time to have started it was probably 20 years ago. But if you don't want to put it off. It's not one of those things. I do think, think about that question. What is the cost of not doing it? Yes, it costs to do it. But what is the cost of not doing it today? And I just think that that's a really good question to think about. And as leaders, as business owners, I think it's an important question to ask ourselves. So I'm going to leave us with this. So this is a bridge. We're on the bridge. We're at the start of the bridge here. And I really think that wellness programming is that we bridge that gap between what we know to do, because it's not rocket science, right? Like most of us, if I sat down with you, you could give me like 5 things that you think really affect your health and would affect the well-being of your company. But there's a gap between what we know and what we actually do, the actions that we take. And so I like to think of wellness as the bridge. The wellness programming is that bridge between what we know we can do or should do to be healthy and have a strategy around well-being for our employees. But it's not always apparent exactly what we should be doing. And I think a good wellness program helps you to bridge that gap between the two and helps you come up with the strategies and the programming and the engagement pieces to help foster the participation and just the overall well-being of your employees. So on Monday, I'm having a continuing the conversation session. You can scan the barcode if you want. It's at 11:30 at lunchtime. So if you're interested at all, you can scan that. It's going to take you to a form, and you can just check off the things you're interested in. If you're interested in the Zoom, I can send you the link. I have some other options that you can click off if you want more. If you have more information, want more information from me. Okay. Any questions? Anybody have any specific questions around? Let me ask: does anybody here have a wellness program that they have? Okay. So do you mind? I'm sorry?
We offer it.
Okay, so just tell us maybe a little bit, what are some of your best practices? What are some things that you're seeing from like an engagement standpoint?
Well, I mean, as you know, I mean, you had it on your slide, wellness is not just about health or mental anymore. It's also about financial, which affects the other two.
Right.
And so we're seeing a lot of surveys that they've done are showing that people are constantly worried about their finances on the job, which then affects productivity and their health. which affects everything, every aspect in their life. And so, of course, the key to education, is always engagement, like you said. And so we do different activities and different things to kind of, coincide with that educational component as well. Because if you just throw education at people, they're not necessarily going to engage in it as well.
Right. And that's where I think the coaching piece, because I've actually done a lot of research into financial wellness, because like I said, I'm hearing more and more that's, people want that. Yeah. It's a big need. And a lot of the programs, what you said, they offer the education, but they follow up with the coaching, right? So that you have access to that one-on-one discussion, somebody who can help you put a plan together, somebody who can help you stay accountable, and you can see real progress and change there. And I think it's real important.
Unfortunately, we see a lot of procrastination because, like, for example, our program is totally free for employers to offer, but yet we have to really struggle to try to get people to take advantage of it.
Right.
And it's a shame because they treat it as almost if there's a cost and a major decision to be made, and it's like, why wouldn't you take advantage of something that's free?
Right. Who are you with?
Advanced Federal Credit Union.
Okay, yeah. Interesting too, I hear a lot, so companies offer wellness programming through their benefits, right? But people don't know, it's not been communicated well, or there's not a champion on site who is sort of talking it up and getting people excited about being part of it or participating or whatever. That's the other thing I'll say. I didn't have a slide on it, but having so we've probably all heard of employee resource groups, right? ERGs in your company. I think we should have EWGs, employee wellness groups, where you have your big company, right? But it helps when you can break it into a smaller group setting. And if you're going to have your people, you're going to have some people, I guarantee, at work who are passionate about wellness. Whether that's yoga, they're yoga instructors or nutritionists or whatever it might be, but seeking those people out and then allowing them to sort of form some groups where it can be your person, boots on the ground, I like to call it, who can help really fire people up to participate in the activities that are offered. And just communication too, boy, is that key. Just making sure that people understand what they have access to. I think coaches can be real beneficial from that standpoint. And also, if you're sitting down with someone and you tell me, I'm listening to, what's going on, and I know that, financial health is a big piece, then I can really connect you where you need to be if I know what's offered with the company as well. So, any other questions? No? Are you guys the only ones here? Nobody else has wellness programming in their business?
We do through Memorial Hermann.
Okay.
Because we're healthcare.
Right.
We do have with some of our large organizations that maybe don't have occupational health department. With nurses, we offer like a nurse navigator.
Right.
But one of the things that we've run into in the past, pre-pandemic, that I think the pandemic kind of changed a little bit of that, but what we would encounter is we have a nurse navigator on their property 2-3 times a week, but the employees didn't have the time to come see her.
Right.
So it was the prioritization of it, I think, has changed. This is a silver lining about the last 2-3 years, is that it shouldn't just be a check mark.
Right.
That you just provide the wellness and it's a check mark.
Love that. Yeah.
You have to actually
Agree.
support.
Yeah. And a lot of companies, I think, look at it from that standpoint. It's, I know I need to offer it, so I'm going to offer it. I've checked the box. But the other point I'll say to that, too, is your policies need to reflect it. You know what I mean? If I offer this, but I don't give you time to go take advantage of it, or I don't give you time to walk at lunch, or, to adopt some of these healthy habits that we're trying to bring into the workplace, your policies, your values, your mission statement, they all need to kind of work together when you make it a priority, and that's the key. It has to be a priority from top down. All right, well, I think my time is up. I really appreciate you all being here. Again, if you want to connect, just scan that. It should take you to a form. You can just fill it out. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.